Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. Yeah, been a busy week, been everywhere, done this, done that, but we back. So, I even made a decision right away on what I want to do. I've got projects lined up, decided to follow them in order. Yeah, like that ever happens. But what I'm looking at today is this guy. See that? And this guy. Right? Look at these handles. They all need some fixing. Not just the handles, other stuff. So, let's check it out. Okay, like I said, I've got these two. And they just happen to be Colonials, which, as you know, trying to date a Colonial, I don't know enough. All I know is nice handles. Here we have fish knife, single blade, carbon. Ooh, yeah, a little rusty. There it is there, look at that. But this handle is awesome. Blade's in good shape, just needs a clean up, it's a bit scratched, a little bit rusty, nothing too serious, and just needs a good clean. But if you look closely, see that? There and there. It's a pretty common problem that you have with this type of knife, whether it's a fish or just a Texas toothpick. They all seem to break at the back here. I suspect on the fishing knives, people actually try to use these things to get the hook out of the fish's mouth. So, we got this issue and we need to fix that. Well, I got some ideas. Then there's this guy. Look at this. Look carefully. Well, it doesn't really show up, but there's a lot of glitter on this thing. It actually shines. A nice two-blade. Yeah, it's a two-blade. Serpentine jack. Yeah, something's missing. That would be the second blade. If you look here, there's nothing. Where's this guy? I can open it up. There you go. Oh, say hello to Mary. Yeah, she's not impressed with me either. Been on the road, busy, she don't like that. So anywho, this guy's missing a blade. Totally gone. Look, you can even see the pin there. The whole blade is gone. Got plans for that as well. I went to scratching in my parts and whatnot and found this guy. Yep, nice little pen blade. And I'm thinking, that'll be pretty cool. The really nice thing about this is the handle's very cool, but even the tip bolsters, the toenail bolsters, brass liners, brass bolsters. Very cool, very nice. This thing, if we can fix it, will clean up great. Yep, Colonial. They surprise me all the time. Every time I'm going through junkers, I find a lot of Colonial. People tend to ignore them. Couldn't ignore these guys. So, let's have at it. While closely being watched by the boss, sometimes, here's the plan. This here is the fish knife. Now, my plan is this. I've got some JB Weld. It's clear. It's you have to mix it, but it automatically mixes with the handle. It's a 1-to-1 ratio anyway. I'm planning on using that and then coloring, adding color to that JB Weld. It dries pretty quickly. After about an hour, you can start working on it. If you leave it longer, the longer you leave it, the harder it gets. and you can really do some shaping. So I'm planning on matching 2 mixers and putting them on the end, setting this aside to dry while we work on getting the blade, this pen, onto here. I'm hoping it's gonna work. There's a lot of things when you do this, and that is, how big is the hole? Does it line up with the spring? So I did a rough check and it looks like it's going to match, but we'll see. So like I said, we're going to work on this guy first, and I just love this handle. So the plan is to fill these in, line it up, fill it in, and hopefully match as much as possible what the handle looks like. Now I've got some acrylic here, green and, I don't know, Mississippi mud apparently. This is Christmas green and Mississippi mud. And of course, JB Weld. So what I'm going to do is mix some weld and match the colors. Here's the idea. There's green here. And I'm thinking if I make that green, and hopefully it'll match up, kind of, sort of, and it won't look so obvious. Same thing on this side. There's brown on this side, and use the Mississippi mud to match that. First thing you got to do is try and clean this up. You don't want a bunch of dirt, dust, or rust where you're going to be gluing. JB Weld works really well. It basically will stick to anything, but you want to clean your surface before you use it. So I'm going to give it a rub and scratch and get all the ickies out of there. Wipe it off with some alcohol just to clean it up. Then we'll do the mixers and put it on there. We can set it aside and let it dry while we work on the other guy. I've just got a pretty soft wire brush here, and I'm just going to rub it, see if I can get most of that stuff off, wipe it off, and get it as clean as we can. So I'm going to mix the stuff. We'll put clear along here and try and match the colors here. Kind of, sort of. So the JB Weld, this is a pre-mixer. It does one-on-one for you. You just take the cap off, twist, pull it off, and squirt. They recommend for at least a minute, mix it up. I'm going to try the green first, so I'm just going to pick up some here, put it over here. You don't need a lot. Dip it. You don't want too much, because I'm not sure if it'll affect the glue. And do the same thing on the other side. So now, hopefully, we'll let it sit. I kind of threw some green on that brown. I can't focus it right now. There you go. And hopefully, let's put a bit of brown on this one. Why? Because we can. And let's let it dry. Okay, so now we have this guy. And it's really hard to show it, but it is a very pretty handle. It's got glitter in it, but I can't really show you it. And like I said, We're missing the whole blade. And I'm hoping this is going to go in there. I'm not sure how they got rid of that blade. Huh. Look at that. You know what? I don't want to crack this. I'm going to have to do this very carefully. Let's see what's going on here. I need to tape that up. Okay. Safety first. Oh, look at that. Even the handle's coming away. So let's see. I think this pin wasn't pinned very well. Or they did something to get that blade off. Go slowly here, because I do not want to break that handle. Look at that. Might not even have to change the pin. Look at that. You think I can get that in there? Well, we got to figure out if this hole matches anyway. This might work. Look at that. It might work. I might have to work on the blade a bit. It looks like it might line up. Now here's the trick. Well, here's the problem. I have to get the blade underneath the spring. Don't know if you can see it there. Somehow I got to hook this. What do you think? The shoulder where the spine is longer into the tang. Here is you can see what I'm talking about. That spring right there. Spring is over the edge of that. How much down does it push? Okay, try as I may, I can't get it on. I think the problem is how tight this shoulder is. The other problem I had was this, pins. Because I think the only way I can do this, is to take the middle pin out and lift this and move it across. A lot of people use a Dremel to get that out. I don't want to damage this. I'm not steady enough with a Dremel. So I'm going to cut this pin. And I just happened to find 3 brass pieces that are just big enough. That's all I have left. I've got to get some more. So I'm going to cut it, get that pin out. We'll lift the handle, move it out of the way, and let's see if we can get everything to line up. Put it back on and pin it. Well, that's the plan. Got it. Okay. Okay, so now we've got that apart. What I need to do is push this pin out so I can lift the spring, put the blade in and see if it's going to fit. I think that'll work. No. You don't want that to happen. Nope. I got a nail and it went through. It's much sharper to go through. I'm hoping that if I can push it through with the pin, it'll go in. Here goes nothing, because I don't have another pin. This is not good. That took some work. A lot of problems. I got it together, but the first problem is I can't get to that nail nick. This is sitting too high, and I have play there. Now I could clean that down a little bit and it'll sit lower so you can get to the nail nick on the big knife. On the big blade, sorry. I've lost all my tension, and you can feel it changing as I do this. Nothing here. I've got tension there, and then it goes in. Pin is bent. And I think I bent that pin trying to fix this problem. So there's that. Now, which means I don't want to adjust that because that might be a bent pin issue. So I can't do anything there. I'm out of brass pins. I really want to see if that's what the problem is. I think I might take this pin out and replace it. I do have a steel pin that I can get through there, and at least make sure it works. And then when I get brass, I can replace it again. So I'm going to stop right there. All sorts of problems with this thing. Let's have a look at the other guy. So here's the other guy, and we filled in there. Now it's still a little tacky, so I really don't want to do any sort of shaping yet. I want to make sure it's totally dry. So I'm going to let this sit and let it cure properly before I start to try and shape it. You can see it's still taking my fingerprint. See that? So it's not cured yet. We've got to clean the blade and everything, so I might work on that, clean up the blade, maybe clean the ends, the well and all that stuff, and hopefully by then this will have cured. It kind of matches, kind of sort of. So let's do that. So here it is here. I just gave it a quick rub on the ends to see how we're doing. It's getting nice and hard. Let's do the blades now. Clean the blades up. We'll start with 800, 1200, 2000, and then maybe go to 10,000 or 7. Here we go. Now 600. Just going to touch up these areas, all the rest of the steel, and then we'll clean the well. Whew, a lot of rust in there. Still soft inside. So here we are at 600, I believe, or 800. Can't remember. And cleaned up pretty good. Now I'm going to go to 12, then 2000, then 7. I'm just going to go through it, show you the highlights, and when that's done, we're going to do some work on here and see if we can clean them up and get the handle all looking consistent. I've got some 1200 here, and we repeat. And there is 1200. Starting to shine up nicely now. You can see the handle here. It's gonna, well, it looks dusty right now, but you can get rid of that just with a cloth and wetting the cloth, and it'll take all that excess dust off. Hopefully, it's not going to look obvious. 2000. And here we are at 2000. And I'm just going to go over the blade with 7000 and along the edges here. And then I want to polish it. And that's when we're going to polish here with mothers very carefully, because it heats up things quickly. So here we go. And here you can see cleaned up nice. I really like this handle, and hopefully that won't be too obvious. This side's a little rough, but that side turned out pretty good. What, 50-50, right? Nice and shiny. Oil this and sharpen. Ooh. Very nice. Good snap on this guy. Half stop, right? Is that a half stop? Yeah. It's not a hard stop, but it's... Listen to that. Very nice. At least this one turned out okay. This guy is a disaster. No matter what I've done, and I've tried 4 times now to pin this, even with steel pins, and for some reason, if you look, it's off center. It's at an angle. Keeps doing that, and I suspect that's why they took that pen blade out, the second blade out. So I think I'm going to quickly cut it off, and I might make it into a single blade with the clip, and put some brass pins in. I'll just take the whole thing apart for the 4th time. So this is what it looks like, single blade. Now it's got snap and everything. I did discover that the spring on the other one was worn at an angle, and I'm wondering if that was what the problem was. I didn't have another spring, so there we are. Needs to be sharpened, and I'll put a bit of oil on here. It is a pretty handle though, if anything. And then this guy, and I oiled him and polished. So, quick sharpen. Nice. There we go. Nice. There you go. Single blade jack. So there you go. Oh, I don't know. Here's the fish knife. I really like this fish knife. The handle's great. And of course, it's in really good condition. How old it is, you know, we're guessing here. Here's the tank stamp. And of course, it's Colonial, Providence, Rhode Island. Nice little single blade fisherman. Got your scaler, nice fillet blade, very nice. And the snap on this is just right. So, and of course we added the ends there. You can see them there. Kind of looks like it should be that way, right? So there we are. Even says fish knife on it. I like this. I really like this knife and the handle. And it had such great potential. And I thought when I found that blade we were good. Not so much. Like I said, I took it apart and pinned it 4 times. I tried brass, steel. Nothing worked, so I totally took it apart. Noticed that the spring on the pen blade was not clean. It had worn at an angle, and I suspect that was affecting a lot of it, because when I opened it I could see things moving. And I looked for another spring for it, and I didn't have one. I had Imperial and Camillus. Everybody but one that fitted this. Some were really close, but at that point I was like, you know what? It'll make a nice little single blade. And I'm wondering if that's why it was like that. I'm not sure. But very nice. That handle, look at that. Beautiful. It's like that marble stuff. Very cool in the blade, nice and clean. Sharp as a razor. Well, almost. So there you go. You know, you win some, you lose some. We kind of saved this guy. And of course, this guy really worked well. Pretty happy with both of them. It's just a pity I couldn't get that done. You know what they say? Persistence, right? So there you go. 2 very nice cutters. And they got their badges on them. And this one says fish knife. Very cool. Worked out very nice, actually. The handles is the reason I bought them. So there you go. Good to get back into the man cave. I feel as though I've been away for a year. Just was a really busy 10 days. Fortunately, I did have some videos. Try to get them out. But on the road, it makes it really difficult. So there you go. But we've got another project, or 3, or 4, lined up. Yeah, like I said, I'm just going to work through them, so look out for those. Weather's looking pretty good. I'm thinking about just go do some fishing, some fly fishing. What do? You all be safe out there, especially when you're doing this stuff. You know, sharp blades and things like that. Tape them up. Be careful. If you can't tape them, be aware that there's a blade right by your hand. Just saying. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. Like I said, I'm gonna. I got a couple of days to put some videos together. This one is up next. An interesting one. It's Imperial stuff. A knife style I haven't looked at in a while. So there you go. Heads up on that one. Thanks for watching. Always appreciated, even when it doesn't work out.